Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Radio Cult Wine. Today, I'm trying to have a more austere voice as I spent 5 years in London and my British... Did I say my British? Man, I'm so bad. My English used to be a wee bit more British than it has become today that I have been working more in the USA of America. Now... Radio Cult Wine Show. Why am I being so silly about my English? Because today I'm taking you to a castle, and this castle, did I see that is Radio Cult Wine? Welcome to Radio Cult Wine, the radio show where we talk about cult wines. Why are they called? Because for a reason or another, these wines are either utterly delicious or they have a beautiful story to tell. What is the story to tell today? And is the wine going to be delicious? Castello di Potentino, Piropo 2015. So first of all, this is a Pinot Noir 100%. And it's cultivated in Tuscany. Go check my episodes on Pinot Noirs and you learn how even Tuscany is making smashing Pinot Noirs. But here we are in a location that is actually pretty difficult to cultivate wine in general because we are right under an extinct volcano that is a mountain. The Etruscans, the population that lived in Tuscany 2,500 years ago, used to call it Sacro Monte, the sacred mountain, because that mountain was giving very fertile zone. But Monte Amiata is famous for the chestnuts flower, beautiful food, phenomenal. It's also like a ski resort. It's not too far away from Montalcino, where the famous Brunello is produced. And actually, here, Charlotte Horton produces an incredible Sangiovese. The name is Sacromonte. Piropo, though, is this Pinot Nero, and I think I put it down in the cult wines because Castello di Potentino is one of those, what shall I say, one of those incredible human endeavors. Charlotte Horton, British origins, comes to Tuscany, like many British people came to Tuscany in the 60s. You know, like after the Second World War, for the next 20 years, the countryside of Tuscany was a totally run-down spot of the world. Nobody wanted to stay there. There was no running water, no electricity. Who wants to go live there? Well, the British do. Why? Are they crazy? Well, they are a little crazy, guys. Love you, British. You know, Great Britain is where I made my dreams become true. British have got this incredible taste for authenticity. And when they started to come over to Tuscany, instead of doing like redoing palazzi from scratch or doing a restoration that are not preserving the space, they very conservative kind of restorations. And Castello di Potentino in year 2000 was taken over by Charlotte, and she made an incredible, and she just like kept it the way it was, putting it back in order, of course. Beautiful furniture inside, incredible bathroom, decor, everything at Castello di Potentino is beautiful. You feel like you're living in a dream. It's like being in a movie when you go there. And then you say like, what about the wine? What about the wine? Let me pour some Piropo. Now, most Pinot Noirs go through 228 liters barrel. It's called PS. It's not the barrique. It's the Burgundian barrel. Now, the difference here is that this wine is, look at the color, first of all, is really, really dark for being a Pinot, but still very transparent, so very bright. It goes through 2 years of 50 hectoliters, not of Slavonian oak, as in Tuscany you would find, but French oak, but still very big, like 50 hectoliters. The nose is about Tuscany, is about this combination of leather, licorice, cypress wood, at the same time with some sour cherries. To be honest, it's a combination of Sangiovese and Pinot in a way. You know, there is a little bit of this leatheriness of Sangiovese that comes through the nose of the wine, and violets. Super crunchy, super reactive. You see how much I'm struggling to talk? Is because I'm having lots of juice in it that comes through my mouth. I'm squashing lots of fruit here. Once, twice, 3 times. Actually, this is the 4th time, so I'm still having a conversation with the wine, which means that we are in front of a fine wine. My suggestion with these kind of wines, this is 2015, is that just you put it in the bottle, you put it in the cellar, and you just forget about it for 5 to 8 years, and then you'll remember me. So, southwest of Tuscany, inland, near Montalcino, right underneath Monte Miata, 350 meters above the sea level, 6 hectares only, super wild fermentation, so there's no selected yeast, everything is wild fermentation, is basically a naturally driven wine. What is very important about this property is also the fact that it's super natural, lots of forests, lots of different kind of vegetation. It's like being in heaven. What heaven? It's a Tuscan heaven. So, cheers, my friend, and goodbye now.